morning, everyone. Welcome to another fabulous episode of How Many Tabs Are Open on Mr. Johnson's Computer? Friday edition. We got a bunch hiding. Shh. All right, so let's take a look at today's activity is an engage your brain. So it's where's the error. We're gonna have a discussion today. We only have two discussion stems. Your stems will be the error is, and the formula that helped me find my answer was. All right, so let's take a look at this. We have another one of these, basically puzzles. I call them puzzles because we have missing pieces, and we need to use the clues to find our missing pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and recreate this monstrosity they have over here. And in recreating it, I'm going to try and figure out which pieces I'm missing. Luckily, they've used letters, so I'm going to actually highlight these. I need to figure out what my Y is. I need to figure out what my X is. And then, luckily, they gave us a lot of information. So I need to check all of this information as well. So let's check our units. It looks like we're using inches. So let's also make sure that everything is in inches. So it does look like everything on this activity is in inches. So our error is not that they used the wrong unit of measure. If they had one part in miles or centimeters, we would know that we have a problem. All right, so we're almost done here. Okay, another thing to remember, all of the perimeters were in measured inches, like lengthwise, length inches, and then all of the areas are in square inches, all right? So like an inch this way and an inch this way, a square inch, all right? So remember, perimeter is the outside border or the rim, and then area is the inside part. So the area of this rectangle is red, the area of this one is yellow, the area of this one is green. Looks like I forgot a little bit of information. Looks like altogether this whole side is 22 inches. And I'm also gonna, this 10 inches, I don't want to squeeze it on the inside, so I'm just gonna put it over here on the outside. That from there to there is 10 inches. All right, I believe there's one more measurement, and it's on the inside, and I'm gonna move it to the outside so it's easier to see once again. So I'm gonna move this over here, and I'm gonna say that this is 7.5 inches. Remember, 7 5/10 is 7.5. All right, so now it actually looks like it's going to be a little bit easier to find our x, because our x is this section. And it should be a little easier to find our y, because the y is this section. And the reason I'm saying it's a little bit easier is because we have two problems right now that we can make. It's basically kind of like looking at a strip diagram, right? 22 minus 10 equals y. All right, and then we could also do 15 minus 7.5 equals x. All right, and the reason why I'm saying it's kind of like a strip diagram is because remember earlier this year when we had basically a piece like this, and it would say 10 over here, and it would say y over here, and then the rest, the whole thing would be 22, and you had to figure out that missing piece. It's kind of what you're looking at right here, right? So kind of bring that into your brain that you've done things like this, even though they look slightly different. All right, so 22 minus 10 is 12. All right, so my y over here, let me make it big, is 12. All right, so y is equal to 12. And 15 minus 7.5, if I need to do that math. Remember, emoji zeros will help you to subtract whenever your place values do not match up. Right, so I have 15 and 7.5. I want to line up my decimal points for subtraction, line up my place values, and since 15 didn't have a decimal, I added the 0. So we're going to borrow, and we find out that it, oh, don't forget, drop your decimal point like it's hot when it's subtraction or addition of decimals. And so we just figured out that 7.5 is equal to x. So 7.5 is equal to x. So we figured out our missing sides. 7.5 plus 7.5 equaled 15. 10 plus 12 equals 22. So now we have all of our missing pieces. Now we have to figure out inside here, is our information correct? All right. Luckily, our red rectangle and our yellow rectangle have the exact same measurements, 10 by 7.5. So let's check those. They should be the same. This shows 35 inches perimeter, 75 square inches as our area, and so does the yellow rectangle. And since our dimensions are the same, 7.5 by 10, that should be true. So let's take a look at our star cheat sheet. What formulas are we going to use to figure out if we have a mistake? We're looking at perimeter of a rectangle, and we're looking at area of a rectangle. All right, so let's use both of these formulas to figure out if our, once again, if our yellow and our red rectangles are correct. All right, so once again, our formula is for perimeter. Perimeter is equal to 2 side lengths plus 2 side widths. And then our formula for area was area equals length times width. All right, so let's look at our rectangle. Actually, let's look at our rectangle over here because we filled this one out. So we said that our length was 7.5 and our width is 10 inches for this small rectangle. So 7.5 by 10. And we saw that over here, but we had to realize that the red one matched. So what we're going to do, we're going to say perimeter is equal to 2 of our side lengths, which was 7.5, plus 2 of our side widths, which was 10. So perimeter is equal to, is 2 and 2 times 7.5, we figured out over here was 15, plus 2 times 10 is 20. So perimeter equals 35. All right, so that checks out, right? Because over here it says perimeter equals 35 inches, perimeter equals 35 inches. So let me be specific. Our perimeter did in fact equal 35 inches for our red rectangle and our yellow rectangle because they have the same dimensions. They are 10 by 7.5. So let's check the area part. All right, we're going to use the same numbers. Our length, 7.5. Our width was 10. All right, so remember that you can do the zeros trick and just move the decimal point one spot to the right because you're multiplying by 10. So 1, 0 means you move the decimal point over to the right. If you're not comfortable with that yet, remember you can also do the algorithm. Just don't even worry about lining up your decimal points. Pretend that that decimal point's not even there till the end. So it's like 75 times 10, 0 times 5, 0, 0 times 7, 0. Second line, ones place, 0. Don't forget that. That's the most important thing you learn in 5th grade. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 7 is 7. So we add that together and we get 750. We have one decimal place. So we're going to bring that decimal point one spot over to the left. So we have one decimal place in our answer. We have one in our problem. And our area is, in fact, 75 square inches. So far, everything about the red rectangle, everything about the yellow rectangle, is correct. All right, because we had a side of 10 inches, we had a side of 7.5 inches, a side of 10 inches, a side of 7.5 inches, which suggests that our perimeter was 35 inches and our area was 75 square inches. All right, so it is not the calculations for the red and the yellow that are incorrect, which leads me to believe that we need to find an error in our green rectangle. All right, so on the green rectangle, let me go ahead and start highlighting a little bit of information in green, if it'll let me. Or I can just circle it, because, no, that's not green. Is it green now? Yeah, it is. All right, so there's my first dimension. All right, so we're looking now at this part, this green rectangle, and we're trying to check and see if the perimeter is indeed 40 inches and the area is indeed 180 square inches. So we're still going to use the perimeter of a rectangle formula, which is perimeter equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths over here. And we're also going to use the area of a rectangle, which once again is area equals length times width. So remember, this cheat sheet comes with your STAR test. It'll give you the answers. All right, so we are going to use the same formulas. Perimeter is equal to 2 side lengths plus 2 side widths. And we're going to do area is equal to length times width. All right, so we're figuring it out for the green rectangle now. So our answer should be 40 inches for perimeter and 180 square inches for area if it's correct. All right, so our width over here, remember, is 12. Our length over here is 15. So remember the dimensions we figured out. They gave us 15. We had to figure out that y was 12. We figured that out because 22 minus 10 equals 12. So perimeter is equal to 2 times 15, which is our side length, plus 2 times 12, which is our side width. So perimeter equals 30 plus 24, and that says perimeter equals 54. Oh, 54 inches is not 40 inches. So I think we found our mistake. Let's double check and make sure that the area is correct, though. All right, so area is equal to length times width. Once again, our length was 15. Our width was 12. So if I do 15 times 12, 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. Second line, ones place, 0. So important. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. We add that together, and you get 180. So our area is equal to 180 square inches. So that part is correct. So we found the error. The error is the green rectangle has a perimeter of 54 inches. The error is the green rectangle has a perimeter of 40 inches. The error is the green rectangle has a perimeter of 54 inches instead of 40 inches. The error is the green rectangle says 40 inches on the picture, but the calculation is truly 54 inches. So the error is it should be 54 inches for the perimeter instead of 40 inches for the perimeter. I think I said that enough times. All right. And then the area, let's see, the formula that helped me to find my answer. The formula that helped you to find your answer was the perimeter of a rectangle. So the formula is P equals 2L plus 2W. The formula that helped you find your answer was P equals 2L plus 2W. Perimeter of a rectangle, perimeter equals 2 side lengths plus 2 side widths. So the formula that helped me to find my answer was P equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths. P equals 2L plus 2W. The perimeter of a rectangle formula. All right, I don't think I can say that any more times without y'all hating me. So, you have a quiz after this. I hope this helps you with your quiz today. I hope this is fun, like solving puzzles like this and everything. Remember, the formula is like the key to your puzzle. It's kind of like your decoder ring. All right, so it tells you the answer if you just plug in the clues. All right, so be your best detective, plug in the clues, and you will get to the end of these problems pretty easily. Just remember, this is your best friend, your star reference guide. These formulas, whenever you actually do your test, and even if you're not taking it this year, you get a reference guide every year. 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. The reference guide just gets longer and more complex. So just learn how to use it now and you'll be good for years. Years! Years! All right, anyway, I hope you have a good day. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. And yeah, have a good weekend and everything. I love you. Bye!